Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. We're here nearing the end of the American series, and I wanted to kind of give you my lowdown on what are the best cars to come out of this series and why, in my opinion, they are as good as they are. So without getting into it into too much detail, the first of the cars that I would recommend you to grab would be the Ultima RS. This is one of the cars that is available by keys other than also by 3,000 tickets. A great car that is hard to get fusions for, but if you can fusion it up enough, it is both a good live racer as well as an easy car to use at stage 5 only to take down Harkness for those who are looking at that avenue. However, out of the cars I'm going to talk about, I would not say this is the best option to build, simply because if you're not an older player and you don't have enough Ultima fusions, this car will sit in your garage for quite a while before it becomes useful. So that is car number 1. Let's now take a look at car number 2. Here we are with the second car I'm going to talk about in the American Racing Series that I believe turned out to be a great car for the players who acquired it. This is a 4,000 ticket car, the Ford 2016 GTLM. This is a very good car in the sense that it is probably one of the best Fords around right now in Tier 5. The Tier 4, 2000, I believe it's 2009 Ford GT, is also quite good. But let's talk about this car. In the American Racing Series, this is the Ford GT you can get, and this Ford GT is also one of the better cars in the entire series. That is because, one, at stage 5 only, it is quick enough to be very useful and can beat Harkness easily and take down Tempest. You can see that it's not a super high grip car, but it's a fast enough car at stage 5 only. Even by lowering the stages further into the stage 3 range, this car is excellent for live racing with certain setups, not requiring a huge amount of upgrades to be successful in the slower lobbies. In the faster lobbies, of course, it is probably best used as a swap car, because there are cars that are going to be faster than it once you get beyond 7.7 lobby. However, all that being said, it is a Ford GT. It's not hard to drive, and it also uses Ford Fusion, so all around, probably my top choice for Ford at the moment. So this is number 2 car that I would recommend from the American Racing Series as a keeper, and one that you should build if you're looking for something long-term to use. Alright, so that's number 2. Let's move on and take a look at the third car. Here we are with the third car that I would highly recommend you to get for 4,000 tickets in the American Racing Series. If you were to only get one car out of the series for tickets, I would say get this car. This is the Bentley Continental GT3 race car, not to be confused with the Continental GT3R, which is a Tier 5 but rather old Tier 5 that is no longer that great in the game. It wasn't that great to start with, but at least it was usable, but now it's really bad. However, the Continental GT3 race car, well, it's on a whole nother level. This is not only the best Bentley, it's probably the best car to come out at the whole event. This car is both low performance point high evo, it has super fast sprints, very good top speed, wins in live, and it's just all around a great car. Bentley fusions certainly are not as easy as Ford, but all of us have pulled so many 3-star Bentley Continental speed that most of us have a decent amount of Bentley fusions. So yes, this is my most recommended car out of all ticket purchases in the American Series, and I don't think you'll regret it. And yes, at stage 5 only, it will simply destroy Harkness, beat Tempest 3, 2, and 1 without breaking a sweat. In fact, it'll beat Tempest 3, 2, and 1 at stage 5 without full fusions. You probably don't even need any epic fusions to get most of the work done. That is how fast this car is at just stage 5. So one of the top cars to come out of this series, and it's the car that I'm most happy about acquiring overall. the Indy car is ultimately the fastest car now in the game, but from a pure use standpoint and ease of actually getting somewhere, I still prefer the Continental for now because I don't have Fusions really for the Indy car. All right, moving right along, let's look at the next one and the final one that I would say would be my recommended must try to get out of the series car. And here we have the final card in this video discussion, and that is the McLaren Senna GTR. This is the McLaren that is a prize car from the American Racing Series, and out of all 4 prize cars you needed to pursue the Indy car, I would say this is the best of the batch. Unfortunately, the Furai, the 007, and the Essenza, as cool looking as they are, really are not that great if you really start to dig into their performance at upgrade levels and ultimately their performance at stage 5. The McLaren, however, is able to, one, beat Harkness at stage 5 only. It is a McLaren, meaning that fusions are relatively easy to get, and even though it's not the top McLaren, and that honor goes to the McLaren F1 Elite Tuner legend car, this would probably come in my books as one of the top McLarens in the game, regardless of the fact the F1 has it beat in certain aspects. Overall, this is a great car that has both low performance point high evo at lower upgrades and is capable of beating Harkness at stage 5, and all around it's just a great looking car that is relatively easy to build to stage 5 and relatively easy to drive. This car's downfall is that in the event itself it struggles with speed traps, and unfortunately for many, if you don't have NOS, the nitrous I should say, body and engine, you're going to really struggle getting good speed traps out of the car. But outside of that particular weakness for the event purposes, I think in the long run this is still a highly viable car for many players and wouldn't just sit there and collect dust as most event cars are wont to do. Okay, so that is the 4 cars, and yes, there are only 4 cars out of this entire event that I feel are truly worthy of long-term use. And it's unfortunate that many event cars turn out this way, but this is my opinion, and you're certainly welcome to disagree with me, but my opinion is based on my experience with the game and how I play the game, which is I don't care about the fastest car in the game. I do care about cars that can potentially get through Tempest without stage 6, and I care about cars that, for the long term at least, I can see viability in live racing in various lobbies. So why didn't I pick any of the other cars? For the most part, because one, at stage 5 only, most of them are 9-second cars. That includes all the boss cars, the rest of the boss cars, the Huracan GT3, the Audi R8 LMS, and some of the other cars that you get. Out of the key cars, the Ultima RS stands out. It's that good. Not to say that the key cars are all terrible. The honorable mention should definitely go to the Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport, which is a decent car that if you pulled with keys and obtained, it's certainly not a car that I would have any complaints about. The SCG TS1 and the Ferrari and Mercedes, unfortunately, they're not as viable currently in most aspects of the game. They tend to pop up as event cars, so certainly if you had the opportunity to acquire them, I would hold on to them and maybe slow build them over time. But in the immediate use, and just to use it against things like Tempest, certainly these the best of these cars here would be the Ultima RS. So that wraps up this discussion of what I felt were the best cars to come out of this event. It's a long event, rather expensive event for many, although for some of us with a little bit of management and luck, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. So in the end, at least we got 4 decent cars that I think has long-term viability and use, which is still better than coming out of an event, having spent some money and then have a car basically collect dust. So I'm pretty satisfied with this event overall. The Indy car is a long-term build. I'm sure that's going to be a decent car. It is certainly the fastest, newest, fastest car in the game, which we'll see how that plays out as far as at lower upgrades. In any case, feel free to comment and let me know your thoughts about the cars in this game that in this event that has come out. If you disagree with me or agree with me, I always welcome comments. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you like my channel and would like to get notifications when I put up new videos, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can get those notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.